I joined Virgin Care in 2011 from Ernst & Young. I head up the group finance function at Virgin Care. So that includes the fairly new procurement function, which we've started to centralise over the last 12 months. Virgin Care provides frontline NHS and social care across the country. We run over 230 services now, and that can be anything from GP practices through to sexual health services, through to the sort of services that your GP might refer you to, so dermatology, musculoskeletal, that sort of thing, right through to prison healthcare. And we've got contracts as far north as Stockton, right down to Landreach on the south coast. We've been in existence 10 years this year. We started opening our first services to the public in 2007, and we now operate over 230 services on behalf of the NHS across the country. Well, we operate in a sector that's been under increasing pressure from pure demography. So I think it's, the public know pretty well the pressures that are on the NHS. So there's clearly an increasing need to rationalise costs. Clearly, it's completely unacceptable for us to do that to the detriment of clinical care. So one of the ways that we can directly influence that is through procuring more smartly. So making cost efficiencies through the way that we buy things. Well, having been introduced to Mar Procurement, one thing that came across really strongly was the values-driven approach. So right from the moment that we met Christoph, it was pretty clear that would make them a really good fit for the business. We're a very values-driven organisation, and clearly in the sector we're in, that's really important. We provide care for people. The other factor that really made it attractive was Mar Procurement's sector expertise. So we're in the health sector. There are some specific things you need to understand to procure in the health sector, and clearly Christoph's background and the team that he's brought in at Mar Procurement have got that experience, and they understand the kind of issues that we need to deal with. We came up with the concept of Project Acorn, so a bit of a cheesy name, from small acorns mighty oaks grow, but a much better name than Christoph put on the table, to be honest. Some of his were terrible. And what Project Acorn was all about was looking at 3 or 4 key areas of spend and saying, okay, how can we fairly quickly consolidate those areas across our business, take them to market and get some good results, at the same time developing our in-house ability. When we started to develop the idea of Project Acorn, Christoph and I locked ourselves in the room and started with a blank piece of paper. So literally, Christoph brought a big roll of brown paper, and we brainstormed where were the areas we wanted to concentrate on, what were the opportunities, what did we go at first, what might our strategies be for that, and we literally wrote them down on brown paper and reflected on it from there, and started to distill it from there. So it was very much tailored for our business. Professionalism and integrity just come across in everything that Christoph and his team do. One thing that Christoph is particularly transparent on is any other opportunities that come up within the business, or any relationships that he has with some of the suppliers we might be working with. Christoph is always at pain to be absolutely transparent with us, and I know that's important to Christoph, that he's really clear about that, and that fits really well with our business. Christoph and his team, it's clear that respect, punctuality, integrity, a professional approach is really important to them, so they're always absolutely in line with that. And I think that's important for our business as well, and clearly I'm putting Christoph and his team out in the business to meet operational teams, and so I wouldn't do that if I didn't believe that they would act in that way. Yes, absolutely, I would recommend Mar Procurement. So the way that they approach what they do is completely professional and with complete integrity. I think the biggest factor that I would feed back to anyone considering using Mark Procurement is the lengths to which they've gone to understand and respect our business and the key people within it. So one word to sum up Mark Procurement. One word's always difficult. The ones that immediately come to mind: enthusiastic, responsible, professional. The one I'd probably go with actually is delivery. So one thing that's come across really strongly the whole time I've worked with Christoph is the desire for an end result, which is what we're both looking for, and works for both of us. And there's a really strong focus right from Christoph down through his team to, okay, so how do we achieve that desired outcome and actually deliver something?